went to a party in Greenpop or so, and that's where I met Mike.
Your husband?
Yeah, I said, well, you must be it. Do you want to marry me?
You said this at the party still?
Well, about 2 days later.
Oh, 2 days. Oh, no.
I went home with him.
I just thought any career in the arts would be a dead end.
Did he burn this house down, Brigitte?
I wanted to be a nun.
If you grew up in Kom, then you were immediately part of the Komskom International.
783.
783, it's our area code.
Hello mates, it's Schalk here and welcome to another episode of Your Mom with Schalk. Today, we don't just have house wine, we have a lovely platter as well, made by the mom of Jeremy Loops. But before I'm going to dig into this platter, I'm going to crack a bottle of the Red House. From the hills of Kommetjie. This is made... No, I'm joking. But from the hills of Kommetjie, the person and his mother I'm about to speak to is made. So, hello, is it Tannie Brigitte? No.
Sure.
Yeah, can I say Tannie? I know you're not from South Africa, but...
I find it difficult, but I accept it.
Okay. I find it difficult to just call you by your first name.
I know you're not really allowed. Eh?
Yeah, no.
They call him Mama Loops as well.
Mama Loops. Is this the fan base? That call her that? Or who calls her that?
That comes from way long ago.
I remember who called you that first. That was, that artist Xavier Rudd.
Isn't that the beatboxer guy?
No, yeah, he plays beatbox.
Yes.
What's it called? Didgeridoo and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. He came here and we played a show at Kirstmosh together, and then I took him missioning the one day and she packed us like snack boxes. Yeah. And then he was in his Australian accent saying, "Oh, Mama Loops, we love the food, Mama Loops." And that's where it started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah,
and
it just
then stuck.
That's very cute. But let's start with Brigitte, Tannie Brigitte. Where are you from?
My accent has not changed.
Yes.
In 45 years.
Wow. Okay. So it's been a while.
I'm from Switzerland.
Okay. So what brought you to South Africa?
A broken heart.
Oh, wow.
Mm?
We're getting into it
early
in the podcast. I love it. Do you want a Prosecco to get into that?
Yes.
Yes, please.
A broken heart. Who broke your heart? Brigitte?
A boyfriend, a French-speaking boyfriend.
It's always the French, isn't it?
Mm.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then my dad said, "You need to leave. This just can't carry on. I can find you a job in America. I can find you a job in Spain. I can find you a job in Johannesburg." And then I said, I have to go to Johannesburg because otherwise I just come back again.
Yeah. You have to go far.
I have to go far. And I knew nothing about South Africa. Zero. Also couldn't speak English.
Yeah.
So I went.
How was that? Because, that was still... You came into apartheid, right?
Well...
That was what
80,
year? Yeah.
You were born 84, so I came maybe 2 years before.
Yeah, 82 maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So you came here to this country and you're like, there's this crazy, system going on. How was that experience?
Well, one of the very first experiences I saw that all the women, the girls like my age, wore so much makeup.
Really?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that is so. Joburg girls haven't changed. They've always been like that.
Really?
They still wear a lot of makeup, Joburg girls.
And then it was a sunny day. I think I arrived in maybe June or so. It was a sunny day outside. And
you remember the day?
Yeah, and I remember. I thought, it's beautiful weather. I'm going to wear a summer dress. And I went out and it was freezing.
Yeah. Joburg can be deceiving like that. The sun can shine in the winter, but it's freezing.
Yeah, and that was my arrival. And then I worked in something which is absolutely not me, in a bank. It's the opposite what I would have
Swiss.
thought. Yes, my dad thought very Swiss, put her in a bank. But I waited only until the day I got my permanent residence, which was in those days a year.
Okay. Yo, that's fast. Yeah.
These days it takes what? I don't know, forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the day I got it, I left.
Left Joburg.
Left
or
the bank in
left the bank.
Joburg.
Yeah. And then you came to Kommetjie.
Came to Cape Town.
Yo. Okay. Straight to Kommetjie.
No,
Oh.
I don't know. I went to a party in, I think, I don't know where it was, in Greenpop or so. Somebody invited me. And that's where I met Mike.
Your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you must be it. Do you want to marry me? Like,
You said this at the party still.
well, about 2 days later.
Oh, 2 days. Oh, no. Oh,
I
2
went
days
home
later.
with him
Yeah. Okay.
and
lekker.
asked him 2 days later. And I said, look, you have to say now, because if...
Come on, it's been 2 days.
Yeah,
Commit.
it's been...
Marry me, have my babies,
Yes.
or hit the road.
Yeah, or I hit the road. I don't have time.
That is the Swiss efficiency that they always talk about. 2 days. Okay, listen, you need to put a ring on it, or you stop wasting my time.
I bought my own ring.
Really?
Mm.
Even more efficient. I'm sorry, but you're just ticking every stereotype here.
And then he phoned my dad if he would, number one,
Just to say
marry
hello.
me. And yeah, and
Is he South African, Mike?
Mike
Yes.
from Benoni.
From my wife's from Benoni.
And
Shout
you?
out Benoni.
And you?
I'm from
Aren't you-
Kempton Park, next to Benoni.
These are stories. I didn't know it was 2 days that you basically asked him to marry him. These are new stories for me as well.
It was obviously the right decision that I
Yes.
said. And I said, and not only do I want to get married, I have to have children straight away. Even though
No, that
I
was after 4 days.
Yeah, even though I was so young, I just knew that I had to have these children.
Yeah. What can I ask? What was the drive inside you that made you feel like I need to have children? I want to. Is it just always since a little girl you
No.
just wanted to start a family?
No, I wanted to be a nun.
A nun. Amazing.
Because I went to a convent school
Yeah.
for 1 year and I loved it there.
You loved the nuns.
And I loved the nuns. And then I thought, well,
But then you did the most un-nun thing,
Yes.
which would be going home with a guy from a party, asking him to marry you after 2 days and saying, I immediately want children.
Yeah, it sounds like you got the wrong lessons from that nunnery. Did you guys got married here in Kommetjie, right?
Yeah,
At a little
up
church
in
just
this
up the road.
church.
Wow.
And then they, I think, bought this little house many, many years ago. And we grew up here in the village.
I think this is my first time in Kommetjie, actually. And it felt like driving to Narnia. Like, I know Narnia, you just go through a closet. But I felt like if you could drive to Narnia, this would be the drive to Narnia. It's like, it's long, it's beautiful, but when you get here, it's worth it. But it also has like this kind of magic about it in Kommetjie that you can't really explain. I mean, this is obviously like the obvious question to ask the mother of a musician, but was he musical at all growing up, Jeremy?
A lot of people ask me that.
Yeah.
And I used to go to singing lessons when they were very small. I actually still go with the same people.
Really?
Yeah. We gained a few, we lost a few, but we still singing. My voice is not very perfect or good.
Mm-hmm. Do you just love singing?
I just love singing.
So who do you sing to? Do you ever perform for people or do you just sing at home?
Seldomly.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of this year we have a little concert somewhere, but
Want to give it a plug?
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't have a date.
Okay.
No,
Do you want to give your voice a plug? Do you want to sing one
No.
of Jeremy's songs?
I can't. But so when I used to go to singing lessons once a week, and I had already Larissa and Celeste also.
Yes.
Mike couldn't put 3 kids because they were all 15 months apart. I wasn't joking when I said I want children and
No, you
I want
weren't.
them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
She said she wanted 10.
I wanted 10 actually.
And my dad was like,
And you settled for
Wait.
3.
then they negotiated for 7, I think. And then he was also like, hectic.
I just wanted as many as I could have.
Yeah.
But then after 3, my body didn't cooperate with me anymore. So I stuck with 3.
Yeah.
But if I would have 7, it would be double as beautiful, I think.
Yeah. A
Even
little bit
better.
more than double. Double and 1.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I took Jeremy to singing lessons
Yes.
with me quite often so
Yeah.
that Mike could handle the other 2 kids at home.
Yes.
And I just put him in the corner and say, sit here and play and read a book or go to sleep. And I don't know if he started to hear things then.
Yes.
I don't know. But I think his music comes from himself, out of him,
Yeah.
and not out of me or somebody else.
Or the singing lessons.
I was quite disinterested in music. I think like many young South African people, I just thought any career in the arts would be a for sure dead end to your single straight line to poverty. And so I never gave it too much mind, and I just thought that's if I want to,
The thing is,
sing in the car, I'll sing in the car. I wasn't writing songs or, I had my sights set on different stuff, I suppose.
but so
Yeah.
what was your plan?
Sorry, Mensa, that's awkward. But yeah, that's load shedding for you. Interrupting everything, even our podcasts. But Mensa, it doesn't have to be that way. Tell Eskom to go away and go solar. Now, Mensa, I know what you're going to say. Solar's cock expensive. I can barely afford the Eskom price hikes as it is, and now you want me to fork out hundreds of thousands of rands for a solar system. Well, Mensa, that's the old days. Remember in the old days, nah? You used to buy CDs, then Spotify came along, and now for the price of a CD, you can listen to just about every song ever created. Well, just like Spotify changed the music industry forever, so too has the solar industry been forever changed by a company called Go Solar. This is how it works. You sign up to Go Solar just like you'd sign up for Spotify. Super easy. Go Solar arrange an installation date and put in the perfect solar system for your needs on your house. And listen to this, Mensa. No big upfront cost. They pay for the whole fucking thing. Then instead of paying Eskom every month, you pay Go Solar, starting at 1399 per month, depending on what the size system is that's right for you. So now you're going to say, but Schalk, 1399 is more than my current electricity bill. Maybe it is. It probably is. But how much is it worth to you to never have load shedding ever again? Means that people have gotten desperate. Now they buy these little batteries for like 10,000 rand, which maybe powers your TV for one episode of 7 Alarm and a light. But you can't even fucking boil the kettle for a cup of tea. Means that 10,000 rand is nearly a whole year with Go Solar. And with Go Solar, you get a proper solar system. Means solar panels on your roof. You're looking cock rich. The latest lithium-ion batteries in your garage. An inverter that looks like it belongs to Elon Musk. This is not Mickey Mouse, Mensa. This is proper. This is solar. And, Mensa, if that wasn't enough for you, Eskom is raising its pricing so rapidly that within a few years your electricity bill will be more than 1399 a month anyway. So even without factoring in the load shedding, Go Solar will still be cheaper in the long term. Mensa, this is what we call a no-brainer. Okay, no big upfront cost, no load shedding, no excuse. Go Solar. Go check out Go Solar at gosolar.co.za for details. That's Go Solar, G-O-S-O-L-R, without the A. Lekker.
But so
Yeah.
what was your plan?
Yeah, what was my plan? This is another thing we were discussing before we did the podcast. My mom was saying, am I allowed to tell them about how naughty you were? Can I tell them about the house burning down? And I said, well, I think all of the
Did
stuff.
he burn this house down, Brigitte?
I
The
said-
whole house?
Oh, mostly, yes.
Most of it?
I said
Most
all
of
of this
it.
stuff is allowed. You can say whatever you want today, and so she's been given really a free rein to say whatever she wants.
Because I listen now to some Jeremy loops on the way here, and I mean there wasn't a single lyric that I heard that was sort of referencing That time I burned the house down. And
The
Mama
time
was
I actually
so
burned
mad.
my house down.
What
Yeah,
did he do?
this-
Did he do that thing where he shot the match off the thing and then it hit the curtain?
I think it was either a towel on a heater,
Yeah.
either that
Classic.
or an electric blanket.
Yeah.
No, it was those synthetic white bell bottoms that burnt on the heater from a disco party I'd been at. No, it was, I think I was quite a troubled teenager. I went, growing up in Kom, we had this idyllic lifestyle and we got to be like barefoot and long haired and the school didn't mind how we were showing up. I was a year young for my standards. So I was only 12 when I went to Sax and I got the rudest awakening of my life going to, for the first time, an all boys school with tradition and first team rugby
Short
vibes and short hair. And I was also a year young and I was with all these like much bigger, burlier dudes who'd already gone through puberty, and I was rocking up like tiny little kid from Kommetjie and I was the only one. All of the other Komskom,
Komskom, yeah, I've heard that.
they
term.
all got to do homeschool because that was the popular thing at that age. Was so many of us were we wanted to be pro surfers, so we were all surfing and begging our parents.
Wow. So they did homeschooling because they're literally, how many of them? Probably quite a few.
Yeah, most kids that grow up in Kom end up wanting to surf, and we've had a lot of famous enough surfers come out of Kommetjie, but for as many of us got sponsored in those younger days, I wasn't one of them. I was never good enough at surfing like some of my chums.
So you bought that Hurley hat.
Yes, no, I'm not sponsored by Hurley. Yeah.
And do you still surf well?
I still surf. I don't know if I surf well. But I've surfed my whole life. So yeah, I'm comfortable.
You can stand.
I spend
You
most
can stand
of my,
on the surfboard.
Yeah, I spend most of my time in the water, whether it's like sailing, fishing, surfing. I love all the ocean sports, and spearfishing I got into heavily at one stage. So yeah, I'm trying to always be in the ocean if I can be, for sure.
Are you a big water person, Brigitte? Do you love the ocean?
No, well, we have a house in Vermakelijkheid,
Well, vermakelijkheid, yeah.
and there is a beautiful river,
I actually like swimming in the river.
and I love swimming in that river.
Mm.
But I mean, to the question, how many times have you been in the ocean here in Kommetjie?
Never.
Oh, Brigitte, my favorite mom of the podcast so
Literally.
far. This is so good. Let me ask Brigitte, when did Jeremy sort of get into music? Because it doesn't seem like in school really it featured much in his life.
So he went to university.
UCT.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess. Same here. Also. went
Also.
there.
But I don't think he knew what he should study, and he then studied.
Can I guess? Sociology, BA in sociology and psychology and philosophy.
You're never gonna get it. No, I studied a business science degree in property development and finance,
Oh, yeah.
and I was so stuck because my teenage years were quite horrific. Like sax didn't go so well for me, and I think I got asked.
But you finished, right? You finished.
No, I got asked to leave sax, and then we went to Redham.
So what were you doing that you got asked to leave? I mean, you had to like do some cuck to.
Those teenage years was like if you grew up in Kom, then you were immediately part of the Komskom International, KSI. O's took it very seriously back then. And these O's, the guys, 783, it's our area code. Yeah, we tell you. And so the guys older than us, what was the name?
Older Komskom in
Yeah,
Sax.
the older Komskom were like filming those videos called Silly Buggers, which were like semi-viral back in the day of the guys
I know Silly Buggers, yeah.
the guys going down in trolleys down Slankop Mountain, like no pads.
Yeah, it was almost like Jackass vibes.
Like
yeah.
flying off the side of the mountain, like absolutely harrowingly dangerous, like funny stunts of just like misfits down by the coast, kind of Dogtown and the Z Boys. We
Yeah.
were all skateboarding and surfing, and that whole culture was strong here. And so growing up in that, you were always trying to kind of be a part of this mayhem in some way. And the way that that was manifesting when I was a teenager, other than all the normal silly buggering, was like we were all getting also into the hip hop scene, and we were going through to the city and going to those hip hop parties at the Jam, and we were getting into graffiti. And then everyone was into graffiti at one stage, and we were all befucked about that, remember?
That
And then-
I remember.
Yeah. And so then I got caught doing graffiti on the
Yes.
trains there in Fishhook. And then you had to come and get us out there of the cell.
Yeah, we were in bed, Mike and me,
Yeah.
like here. And I think a phone call from the police. We've got your son here. Like, come here immediately. And then Mike said,
What time is this? Like
at
in
night.
the morning.
2
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
Later.
And then Mike said, well, you better go. You're better at this.
With your broken English.
And no, by then I could maybe speak English.
Okay.
My dad never wanted anything to do with all the naughty shenanigans at that age. And my mom was like endlessly tolerant with it. So he always sent you.
Well, maybe.
'Cause you're
Anyway,
also
I
the stricter
came.
one. You're the German one.
I came, and there they had him behind, I don't know what you call
Bars.
it. Not behind bars yet, I think.
No, we were just sitting at the back there in the cell in a holding bay.
And then I said, quite clearly I remember, they said he was caught for doing graffiti. And I said, well, I want to see this graffiti before I sign any forms here.
To decide if it's because maybe it's good. And
Yeah,
then
maybe
you
it's
like
lovely.
you made the train better.
Yes, there was we were certainly aiming to uplift with art. I mean, it was not just pure rebellion at all. We thought
It's
we
good
took
for
this-
tourism.
we
The
took this
tourists
thing
come in and they
very-
go, wow, look at these trains. This is
These beautiful
incredible."
train
And
lines.
remember these yellow awful trains? They
Absolutely. So I was sitting back there hearing her kind of reason with them about what is the quality of this artwork, and we were laughing. But no, so just to cut a story short, though, that then ended in a situation with us in the Simonstown court there. Now you've been to Simonstown.
Yes.
And we had to wear those suits, and none of us had any suits. And so me and two others, I was just speaking to this guy the other night. I saw him at a house party, and we were reminiscing about this because his mom was there behind us crying. She was so ashamed, and we were all in the front there with
So
our
where
like
did you get your suits?
secondhand suits. I don't know. I think I borrowed one from Grandpa Tom, my grandpa.
Oh, you mean suits? Like,
Yeah, we had to like the lawyer. We had to get a lawyer to represent us so that we didn't get criminal charges because we were thankfully all still young enough. We were 16, 17, so but we had to get a lawyer. And so then the three moms of the three kids were all there lined up in the stand, and the judge was busy giving us like a chewing out about how we should care more about public property and this is very serious and what. And our lawyer was there, like, no, it wasn't like anyways, I just remember you were there basically laughing in the background.
I had
She
a
thought it was
scarf on, like now.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And I just kept looking back like,
I had to
"Shh."
keep the scarf up here because I found this very funny. And the
And I was
other
like, she's
women,
going to get me a criminal record because she's in the back.
the judge is like,
Giggling.
whose mom is that
Yeah,
laughing?
which one?
Your one. Okay. Everyone else is fine. Everyone go home. You though.
but the other moms really, they were crying like mad.
I can
I
imagine.
don't know why. I mean,
Anyways, so for that, our punishment ended up being 100 hours of community service at False Bay Hospital. You remember
Yo.
that? But that all coincided, just to refresh your memory, because you forget about the Sachs ordeal, that coincided with the unfortunate mistake of burning this house down, which just happened to be,
So I just need to understand how much of the house burned down. Like half?
yeah, like
Three
at least
quarters?
half. No, all three of the bedrooms were on fire. The roof was burnt out and the whole house needed to be redone. But then insurance paid out and everything actually was fine.
Yeah.
And then my mom and dad got to do this lovely refit that you see around
Well,
you.
yeah, this is very nice.
They've
I
done
don't know if this
beautiful
is pre or
things.
post fire, but if it's post fire, I would say pretty nice.
but the sad part of that was I came back from my school drive And when I came into this road, all the neighbors outside saying, your house is on fire. And Mike was in it because he didn't get up at that time of the morning.
Yo.
And nobody really knew where Mike was.
Yeah, that was the more serious thing is we nearly lost my dad. He was
So
in
where
the
was
fire,
he? Did he at least?
He was crawling around on the floor.
under the smoke. He
Under the
because
smoke.
the house filled with
So
smoke.
this wasn't, yeah, I'm assuming, this door. So
No.
he couldn't get
No.
out the room to just run outside.
No, but
Yeah.
he wanted to look for the kids because he thought they were still in bed.
Oh.
Yeah, this is all very traumatic for my father, actually, because he woke up in a cloud of smoke, crawled on the floor to our beds with black smoke above him, and then just saw the children's, where the fire originated in my room there, just on fire. So he made it kind of crawling out to the front door, and then I think got pulled out by one of the neighbors, more or less. I knew what it was, yeah, because I had the panel heater there, and I used to the night before because I was so bad
Those
in the
old
morning.
school, like,
Yeah.
iron ones, right?
I used to hang my socks and my shirt
Yeah,
and
dude,
my
I
pants.
did the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the best was the undies.
Oh, wow.
Undies on the heater,
Yeah.
and then you put on like these warm underwear. Oh,
So
it's
that's
the
what I did.
best.
I used to hang it there, and then I would lie. My alarm would go off, I'd wake up, and I'd immediately next to my bed switch the panel heater on and lie there for 20 minutes while my clothes got warm. And but that weekend I had gone to this party in Kom, and it was like a 70s party, and I had these synthetic white bell bottoms that were also over the panel heater, just laying there from the weekend. And that was, I knew when they said the house on fire, I was like, fuck, I left my heater on. And so that all happened at the same time, in the same like couple of months that I had the graffiti incident and the community service, and then left Saks. Whether I was asked or whether you asked is maybe a bit blurry. I always thought that they asked me to leave.
We took you out.
You say you took us out. I just remember that meeting we had to have was very tense. Anyways, then we went to Redim, and then they said, yeah, okay, we accept him, but on probation. No one must
On
find
probation
out.
of him burning the school down.
No, on probation of no one finding out at the school that I was doing a year of, 100 hours of community service. The nice thing about when I went to Redim is that I got to drop some of the subjects I was doing at Saks that I didn't like, and I got to do drama and art.
Okay.
And for the first time in my life, I got to start doing subjects that I really loved and enjoyed, and I excelled at. And at Redim in those early days, they'd poached all the best teachers, and so the learning environment was great, and we managed to get there. And I got good marks and finished there very
Each
happy.
time, Jeremy, maybe, I mean, in that cupboard are actually all the school reports. But
And then you went to UCT.
Yes.
Did you finish business science?
Yes, yeah. I was very stubborn. I stayed and I did that degree, and I thought, well, if I get a business degree, then I'm going to maybe be okay. Then I can leave my troubled teenage years behind, and I can do something where I can have some potential. But then as I got deeper into that degree, I realized that this is like, also I'm going to be so unhappy. I really struggled. And that's in my second year of university when I was doing a subject called financial maths, which is a mixture of the two worst things you could
I'm
possibly
already
put
exhausted
together.
just hearing you say that.
That's when I went and bought a loop pedal. I went and went to the music store. I just started playing guitar on the way into UCT every day because it was an hour-long drive in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. You know where you had your CDs flipped down and you could put your CDs there by your head?
Yeah.
I had my Beck Flakies all there, like a whole bunch of harmonicas, and I would just put music on and I would play and learn harmonica on the way and on the way back. So that's where harmonica came from.
I mean, that's 2 hours every day that
Yeah.
you're getting practice. And if you play an instrument for 2 hours a day, you're going to get good at it.
I was getting serious practice time, and then I was basically coming home and studying for like financial maths and actually practicing on this new loop pedal thing that I had.
Okay, well, we're going to find out more about that after the break. And we're back. Thank you, Housewine. This is delicious. Okay. When did you realize, Brigitte, that, okay, there's something here with the music? Was it like his first paying gig, or was it already when he was playing, while he was studying? Or because I always think for the mom, there's like a moment where you go, okay, hold on a second. This might actually become something real, like a career.
He was playing in his room day and night, whenever he could. And I would go in and out of there, and he played the whole night. Therefore, I could never sleep, but I would never disturb him. I would rather not sleep.
Yeah. Wow.
And then one day I walked in there and he was playing his whatever again. And I said, Che, where is your voice? Why are you not singing?
Yeah, I never sang.
He never sang. And I kept on harping on this for a few months maybe. Where is your voice?
Yeah, that's true. You actually did. You were one of the only people who was giving me a hard time about that in the beginning.
Because I knew there was a voice in there.
I always thought I had the worst voice. I have a very gravelly voice. It's always breaking when I go on tour. Sometimes I lose it for extended parts of the tour and have to go and sing like with a horrific voice. So I've always, even then I was struggling I never had like a nice, clean, perfect voice. And so I was just thought, well, I surely will, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do some of this beatbox, harmonica, looping stuff, and someone else must do the singing. But you were heckling me about the singing in the beginning a lot, yeah.
So then, from then on, I definitely knew there is something coming.
Okay.
Something was brewing.
And then there was... Did Mo join very shortly after that? Or maybe it was still somebody else? And I said, why don't you guys just go and do some busking somewhere? I want to see you busking sometime.
You're taking credit for my busking now.
No, I'm just saying I wanted to see you busking because I saw...
I was just trying to make some money.
Well, I saw something coming.
At the age of 26, I finally said, that's it. For the next year,
Okay.
I want no one to tell me anything about what I should do. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And that was when I met my old high school friend, Misha. We started an organization with his partner at the time, Lauren. Yeah, we co-founded an organization called Greenpop, which was all about planting trees. And we wanted to plant trees and under green spaces around Cape Town. And that's what I did. So in the beginning, when I got back, we just started all planting trees. And we did these things called parkings, where we would, in the long street, roll out some fake grass, build a little lounge there. I would sit and loop and make jamming music, whatever I could come up with, and they would all walk into the traffic and sell these little tree coupons for $50. And the pitch was, you buy a tree from us, and you get this little thing to hang around your neck or put in your car, and we'll go plant this in an underprivileged school, orphanage, old age home. And that was our mission.
Did you guys make any money from that, or was it just...
No, not in the beginning. For that first year, we were paying ourselves salaries of, I think, 2,000 Rand. It was like really not about making money, but we did rally an entire movement of youngsters who got involved, and everyone was keen to be involved in that. At that time, it was like we were recruiting people everywhere, and the kind of way we were doing it was I would rock up and jam music, and Misha and Lauren and all of our other mates would walk out and tell people about this idea. And everyone at the beginning of it was just doing it for the idea of how can we have fun and give back in a country which desperately needs it and not worry about the money. It wasn't about that. It was just, the idea was, let's green some of these desolate spaces that don't have any greenery. And so we got hectically into that clique. And as a result, a few months passed, and we had planted 1,000 trees now at a whole bunch of these schools in the Western Cape. And so we threw a big party to celebrate. It was called the Night of 1,000 Trees. Assembly in town gave us a free night to fundraise.
Shout out to Assembly.
Shout out to Assembly.
Some of my first comedy nights were there, dude.
Really?
We used to run a gig called Assembly Comedy. Anyway, thank you to Assembly.
Yeah, they were big supporters. So they allowed us to throw a show. I remember I phoned, because I was into music, the agreement was, well, you deal with the bands and we'll deal with all this other stuff. So I thought, well, flip it. Maybe this is my opportunity to get on stage. So I phoned. I remember I got Desmond and the Tutus.
Yeah.
They did a free gig to help fundraise for us. And there was another band who eludes me right now. And then I basically thought, well, I'm actually just going to put myself on as the opener. So I put myself on opening the show.
And what was your name then?
Yeah,
For
that was
opening?
I figured I chose Jeremy Loops at the last moment. It was all sorts of
Because you lived on Loop Street.
yeah, and well, just because
I always thought it was the loop pedal.
It's the loop pedal, but he also you
Yeah.
lived in Commercial Street.
no, but my nickname also at university was Loopholes because I was always snaking around and not really present. So they called me Loopholes. And then I got
Oh.
into looping, which was like the best loophole of all because you didn't need a band. Like I didn't have the skills. I didn't know how to be in a band because I had no formal training. So I had no capacity to build a band, but I could sit there and tinker on my loop pedal and make my own one-man band. I thought it was like the ultimate loophole.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Loops felt very natural from all these coinciding and living on Loop Street. All these things came together. And so I just went with that. And then that first show went so well. And then the guy who worked with me at Greenpop there, he said, well, I'll manage you if you can, you just be the CFO of Greenpop. I'll be your manager at Jeremy Loops and we do these things. So yeah, we lived in the same house, little apartment in the city there. And we ran Greenpop, this tree planting organization, and drank a lot of coffee. And I was practicing looping and that's how it all started.
So you like the music, Brigitte?
I love the music and I feel the music. But I think, I don't know what he's writing maybe tomorrow or what he's written yesterday. But when I hear it, it feels I already know it. I don't know.
Were you worried at some stage? Because I mean, I think anyone's first memory of Jeremy Loops is the toy.
Yeah.
Were you worried at some stage, like when you saw him like with the toy on stage, and you were like, "What?
Maybe this is the wrong direction.
What the hell are you doing?"
I stole a few toys.
Yeah. She was helping find these toys. If there was a family of ours who had kids and there was a kid's toy, she would come back with, yeah, you gave me some. She
Yeah,
was
but
like,
that
look, I
also
found this one. It
I
made
also
sounds. And I was
stole
like, oh, where
some.
did you?
Because they worried me.
Yeah.
And I thought it's maybe because I didn't let him play with plastic when he was a child. He's maybe got this neglected childhood problem.
Didn't
Maybe read into it a little bit too much.
didn't let me play with plastic. That's not.
No, you only were allowed with
Lentil curtain stuff.
wood and
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
she
And
didn't let me
blocks.
have any sugar until I was 7.
I didn't give him any
That's
sugar.
Very hectic.
You do have a very chilled out vibe. I think it's probably the lack of sugar first 7 years of your life. Okay, so but when you saw him for the first time with the toy on stage and now looping the sound of the toy, did you enjoy it? Did you think this is like super creative, or were you like,
No, I was worried about that toy. But otherwise, I'm never worried about them. And there was the days when I made them food, which had to be packed at the airport because they wouldn't just want to eat any old airport food.
I always ask the moms this. Are there any what highlight is there for you about his career, a show he's done, a song he's brought out, and a low light? Is there a low one? Normally the moms say, no, everything my son has done is amazing. The sun shines out of his pupil. But is there something that... But let's start with the high. Your favorite thing you've done, because I always find it very interesting because your favorite song is not necessarily his favorite song and other way around. Or your big moment is maybe a small moment to him, but for you it had a special connection.
Well, my favorite song is maybe the least favorite song. It was called...
I think the party's
Yeah.
over and it's all about to change.
No, Vultures. I think
No, that's
Vultures is
Vultures is like number 3 on Spotify. It's got some of
Really?
the highest streams of all.
because Vultures, I think it's almost like he saw the future.
What is it about?
It's, well, you say, like the party's over, the chandeliers are broken.
Yeah, it was about the
house burning down.
the impending burning down of the proverbial house that I kind of felt was, at that stage felt like it was coming. And there's lyrics in there like, and the doors are blowing open of this old home, decomposed. And the walls will slowly. Yeah, it was about the way the vultures are circling. It felt like the vultures are
vultures
circling.
are
About
gonna-
what live stage is this of yours?
This was like 6 to 8 years ago. Maybe, I don't know what was going on in my mind exactly about it, but I started feeling very uneasy. Like the way that everyone was feeling in COVID about like, oh fuck, the world is legit actually over as we know it.
And that's
we're-
why you're saying he was studying the future.
Yeah, it felt like I felt that how it felt in COVID for everyone when everyone was like, oh man, this is potentially the end of the golden age that we had, and from now on the world will be forever, maybe slightly different, maybe harder, maybe some of the traditional things we thought were happening are not going to happen like that anymore. And I was feeling like that like 7 to 8 years ago when I wrote the song Vultures. I was like, something's shifting and it's not going to be the same. And the chandeliers are broken of this old home right now, and the vultures are circling, and they're going to smile at you while they
Picking your bones.
pick your bones. And we've been sold down the river.
But it was, I think, one of your most beautiful songs. But now you say it's number 3 on Spotify. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was it never was big at the time, and it's grown slowly and found its way home, and it's got lots of streams now. But we don't play it. I find it sad to sing that song, so we don't play it so much. But it has a positive ending, that song.
Saying what?
Well, it says that nature will take over, like if we destroy ourselves, nature will take over and things will regrow, and there'll be a new life. Like the world is tough and ready to evolve, and if humans don't make it through in quite the way we are knowing now, like people will make it as well. We'll make it, but it'll just look different.
Yeah.
The nature will grow through the cracks again, which is just kind of feeling like what needs to happen a little bit, Nature needs to take over again.
What does your dad do?
My dad, he's had a history of many different things he's worked in, but the thing that sticks out in relation to my music career was that growing up, he was a puppeteer. So
Wow.
he used to be like at school where you'd have puppet shows come once a year and they would set up,
You
and
did that.
that was my dad there doing that. He was a one-man band puppet show.
That's a tough job, babe.
And he used to tour
These
up and
ungrateful
down
fucking kids.
the country. And
Ooh, outfit change.
yo,
Hello, Beyonce.
damn girl.
So,
Okay.
Just talking about your husband being a one-man band puppet show. He's the original Jeremy Loops of puppets.
Yeah, that's right. He was a journalist before. He was working at the Cape Times. He was writing all sorts of anti-apartheid like commentary and traveling all around the country doing that when you met him. And then basically
then I said,
no more of
I
that.
went to the newsroom one day, like
Jeez, you went to the office.
after about 3 days. of
I never
knowing
know
him.
where these stories are going to go. I have no idea what you're going to say now.
I went to the newsroom because I was going to meet him for lunch.
What newsroom? Like where was it?
Well, in the city, there was a newsroom for
For the
the
Cape Times.
for Cape Times, and
And he had just been given this promotion, right? He'd moved here from Josie because he got given a promotion to come and head up the Cape Town.
no, it was
going
going to be the opposite. Actually, it was
Oh.
going from Cape Town to Johannesburg.
They wanted him to move back, I see.
And they still had typewriters in those days. And when I went to the newsroom, there was all these guys on typewriters smoking with a bottle of whiskey on the table. And I said, I'm not going to marry somebody like that. Sorry, because I'm going to have kids. And So you can now choose,
This was on day 5.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then he chose. And then they said, well, we would have actually wanted to promote you. And
He said, well, sorry, I'll find something else. And
yeah,
he
then I
started
said, well, now
puppeting.
again, you have to choose.
Yeah, my mom has come out to a few of our tours. She demands it that she can come on the tour bus.
Yeah.
Mama Loops must get to come for a week for the best part of the route. She wants
Yes,
to
of
be
course,
there
where the
for
5-star hotels are booked.
She wants to be there when there's big shows. No, she's not interested in any of the hotels, none of that Lani stuff. She wants to be at the biggest show with the most gears when everyone is not picnicking or some kak.
And with the loudest sound, with the
With
biggest
the good
speakers.
sound. So she's been at, I think I flew you over for the Roundhouse show, which was at London Roundhouse, which was that at the time the biggest London show we'd ever done.
Is that where I came down on the stage?
Where you were on the stage at
Yeah.
the end there with the sparks going, the big photo, and then you were standing there in your robe in the middle of everything, like really taking up the space.
Well,
It
I
was-
didn't even know that I was meant to go down there. Somebody
Pulled you up there. Oh, I
came
called you.
to get me.
No,
Jeremy called me
you
and I
know-
didn't catch.
You know what's the
Catch.
funniest one? It was when we were in
No,
Switzerland.
don't say that.
That's a good one. It was
Okay.
very cute. We were in Switzerland for a big show last year or 2 years ago. Big festival. Like we've got a big audience in Switzerland because they don't have many big artists coming out of Switzerland. So they actually have claimed me almost like a Swiss, even though I can't speak the language. They're like,
Wow.
oh, fuck it. He's got a passport and a Swiss mom. Good enough for us.
Yeah.
He's ours. So like
You
we
and
do-
Trevor Noah.
We do well in Switzerland. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So we were headlining a big festival. And at the end of the night, I said, and you won't believe it. Like my mom's actually here. Let's get her on stage. And the crowd and I said, she's from Aarau, like this little town in Switzerland. And I said, go on, mom, like say something to the crowd. And I was thinking she was going to now speak in Swiss German and say some nice words. And then she just stood there like staring at them all for a minute, like this big eyes. And then you said, I'm very happy in English. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Can you just say something in Swiss German? And she just like looked and she was like, I'm going to be a grandmother, also in English. And I was like, oh, fuck, what is she saying? But she was actually saying that because my sister just got pregnant. But now the crowd, this is like a broken English thing. And so she hadn't said anything in Swiss
They
German. And now an entire
they thought
crowd
you were
thought that
having
I
a
was
baby.
pregnant. And so everyone was raving, like, rah, like clapping wildly. And then she thought she had done very well. So she was like waving like this. And she waved.
And to this day, all these people in Switzerland are like, why is Jeremy not posting his baby? I
Yeah.
mean, he's had a baby for 2.5 years. He's
She
not
walked off
posting it.
thinking like she must have done the best job up there. And I was like left so confused. And the crowd, I'm sure, were confused. It was really great.
Thank you so much. Thanks for chatting to me today. Jeremy, thank you for
Yeah,
making
lovely.
time in
Thanks
your
for-
international schedule to be here in Kommetjie. And it
Yeah.
was lovely for me
We really.
to come here. Thank you for the cheeses.
Do you want to open the Swiss drawer and say a couple of Swiss things for us? No, this is.
Drawer
ending.
stays closed.
Schmitz das Gesicht. That's what Jeremy said in Switzerland.
I
Schmitz.
sang a Swiss song now on this last tour. It was flippin' funny in Switzerland, in Zurich.
Whose song was it?
Schalachrot
Scharlachrot.
by
Yeah.
that.
And he just couldn't get this word and he sang it so wrong. And now
In front of like 2,000 people in Zurich, I was just singing like butchering the Swiss German song, but they loved it.
they loved it. And now this is a word we all using. Our whole family used this wrong word. He sang.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brigitte.
for
Thanks,
having us.
Jeremy. Cheers. Cheers for everyone.
Your Mom with Schalk is a Telltale Media production and hosted by me, Schalk Besaidnout. Once again, please hit the subscribe button on your podcast app. That's it for today, but I'll catch you next week for another chat with another Tannie.